What is up, beautiful people of YouTube, and welcome to today's special premiere. If you haven't yet followed me on Patreon, you wouldn't know this, but I basically have a lot of internet issues at the moment. It just keeps going from high speed to low speed, and there is just no possibility for me to actually upload a video, which is a little bit annoying, or basically to live stream, because it's a little bit annoying that, you know, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work, and I don't want to have a live stream where I have these issues. So I want to get these issues sorted beforehand. So instead I thought, why not just do a little bit of a special premiere today. We're going to be looking at two making of MVs, and as you can see, it's going to be a SHINEE special and a SuperM special. I don't want to say what songs they are yet, because hey, I like to keep people a little bit surprised, and I think they're going to be good MVs. I'm very stoked for both MVs because I thought they both are very interesting, and I really am curious on what they have to offer in the sense of how it looks like behind the scenes. Of course, before I get with on, or basically continue with the video, let's say it like this: for everyone who is here at the moment, thank you for watching, thank you for your understanding, and I hope this is going to be a great video. I think this is a great little alternative to live streaming. I tried to make it a little bit longer. Like I said, maybe it's going to be 20 minutes, maybe it's going to be 40 minutes. We do have two MVs to look over. One is going to be 21 minutes, one is going to be around 14 minutes, so it is going to be interesting. Do you guys already know what I'm going to review? Put it in the comments or put it in the chat. I'll be there as well, like always, and be on your side. But for now, let's jump right into the video. I hope I have it set up actually, because if this was now an issue at the moment, it's not loading, but let's get this all going properly. I think now it should work. There we go. It just came on screen. Always is a bit of a lag, but that's totally fine. And if you haven't guessed it yet, today we're going to start with the MV, or the behind the scenes of the MV. Don't call me, don't call me, don't call me. Oh, that was a terrible voiceover, guys. Don't get angry, don't unsubscribe for that. I'm sorry, I apologize for that. Okay, that's not really good. I do hope the sound and everything is fine, but I would say let's just jump right into the video. I'm really curious about the video, but before we even start, let's already start with the first frame. This was a very interesting thing. I don't know why, but on set, no matter what set you go on, you normally always have chairs for the people who are part on the video. In this case, we've got SHINEE. Sorry, I cannot read the names. It could just say SHINEE, to be honest. Like, this could be it. I might be wrong. Again, if you're Korean, maybe put it in the comments. But the idea behind having a chair basically is just for people to relax, for people to be always ready and to be on time for a shoot. And the main reason is because, for example, we have another chair in the background here that you can see. You guys cannot see my mouse, but in the back you have another chair, and that chair is basically for a filmmaker, so someone who's in the production, but that can be taken over by anyone. These chairs are purely to make sure that all the SHINEE members are there on spot, ready to go with a bottle of water, make sure that the throats are nice and hydrated. Very important. And of course the rest of the members get exactly the same stuff, but very important point. So if you do want to shoot a video, make sure that your most important cast members are always, you know, start ready for any moment of a shoot, you know, that they're always on time, they are close by, and yeah. And I know that we're only talking about the very first frame of this video, but let's continue finally.
I promise to tell the truth and nothing but the truth.
If you don't call me, check this out, y'all.
Very cool. I must say, whoever designed his hair, and it could have been himself, I think that's key if not mistaken. Again, I'm learning the members, but this is key. And I heard he is a designer. Super cool job here with his hair. It looks very unique. Again, talking. Oh, I love looking at equipment. Let's actually look at the settings here really quick. So they're filming on an SSD. This is the power current. So this is running on an external battery, maybe. Not really 100% sure. 23.95 frames, not waves. ISO at 1280. That's actually really good still. Shows it's actually a very dark room. ISO is okay. Interesting. Always fun to look at these kind of elements when you do a shoot, because you might use them as a reference for your own potential shoot, you know. Oh, we saw some equipment. What do we see there? What do we see? I think, again, most likely this is a Ronin. Is this a Ronin? I cannot say. At least it's a gimbal that I've never ever seen before. I mean, I think this is even bigger than any DJI run, because DJI has only like one arm and this has a double arm. I'm curious what this is. And if anyone knows, put it in the comment section or in the chat and tell me, because this is gonna be interesting to know actually. I like to know equipment on set all the time. Super cool. This is a wireless transmitter for, it could be for lighting, it could be for HDMI, it could also just be for sound. I'm not really sure, but maybe for sound, because I see only one cable going in. Cool anyway. Very chill. Like, I love how chill and how good of an actor he is. And again, I think his name is Key, correct me if I'm wrong. Very nice chill. I love it when people are just very chill on set, and when they just do their parts good and naturally, and it looks really good as well. Very nice. I mean, just look how short the scenes are. All he did was the phone scene, and that was it. Talk, 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 talk. Walk away. Done. Nice. Oh, we actually have some names now. Mino is there in his cowboy hat. So that was Key, if not mistaken. Okay, it doesn't matter. So it is Key. Interesting how Taman doesn't get a name tag, at least not yet. I'm really curious where they actually filmed this. Is this something that is custom made for them or not? Because if we go a little bit back, we saw a lot of wooden constructions outside of the building. But I'm curious if it can also just be a building that has a construction outside. So, and this is a very specific module that they make. And it's interesting how you can actually have someone inside of it as well. So, it could be a rundown building. Aha! Taman does get his own name tag. Nice. One sec, does it actually have top? There we go. Now we have subtitles as well. We know what's happening. Always good as well to know when you go on these kind of videos, you know, whether there's a music video or not, always check if the people are actually comfortable. There's nothing worse than someone wearing clothes or shoes that are always annoying. I bet all you guys ever had an experience you had to wear shoes that are very uncomfortable, and you know how it is just to walk on them. But now imagine you have to do a set on it and maybe even a dance choreography. You know it's going to be a very pain in the foot. And also, for most dancers, the feet are actually some of the most expensive parts to insure, because if one of them breaks, they cannot do anything anymore, you know? Very interesting. Okay, I can say that I saw... I'm really curious what camera it is. I mean, I cannot even see what gimbal this is, but this again, now it looks like a Ronin, but I just can't see it. But of course, this is a cinema camera for sure, because that's a big, big, big lens. Beautiful though.
이게 진짜 웃긴 게 뭔지 아세요? 가사가 있어. Don't want it now, ooh, don't call me. 디테일이 있네. Sick of all your trash.
It's also one of the best things ever that, you know, a lot of these K-pop groups, they have a lot of English words in it, but some people don't know how to speak English at all. Like, you know, we can be honest, the pronunciation is is very let's say weak. It's very cute. I cannot say anything bad about that. You know, it has its own characteristics, but like for example, how he was reading the lyrics and how they sing it are two different ways. So it's always interesting how contrasting it is. At the moment, I just want to say, like, from a set's point of view, I think it's really beautiful. It has this very rustic feel to it, so that's why I'm really curious about where they shot this. We don't really have outside shots at the moment. We had one at the very beginning. I don't know where it was anymore, but we saw an outside shot and I don't want to go back anymore. But if this is a building that they basically lit up, really, really cool. Well done. Super cool. I already told this in the video when I reviewed it that it basically had a, what do you call it, a continuous shot, and you can see that they did that. I love when companies do that. I love when filmmakers do that. It's really hard to pull off because you have to time everything correctly. One little step wrong or one movement that doesn't really fit with the timing, you have to start all the way from the beginning again. Of course, you can edit it out, but it's impressive by itself. I just really enjoy it that they're actually having fun. I've never been on a set anywhere that has a good vibe like this. Normally it's very strict, normally it's very focused, and normally you only have one or two people really telling what's happening. I want to point out one thing that, and I had to go back a little bit, so sorry for that, guys, but I always think it is so funny how you have gear. So this equipment here, I can imagine, like, if I'm guessing what it is, we're looking at least like 10,000 euro, so that's 1,200 bucks. I don't know how many pounds that is, doesn't really matter. It's a lot of money, but I love how we have these things. For example, we have this, I think it is a tripod stand, specially designed, you know, for gimbals like this. You know, you can just put a camera on top of it. Super, super cool. Like, imagine just having an item built for a purpose like this, and I would have never come up to it, but there's a need for it. And I think it's always so interesting to find these kind of equipments, you know, to find something with a dedicated purpose, because most likely you cannot put anything else on this stand, only this. So without this, this doesn't make sense. Really, really interesting to see. It's really nice to see how much fun they actually have in this shoot. I think they're looking at the footage now, no? Are they redoing it because of that element? It could really be that they redid it, and I think this is actually good. If they redid that because there was this thing on his ear, I think it was an earring that looked like a microphone, I think that's totally legit. Too many times I've been on a shoot where we do the same thing, you know, if we don't like it and we go back again, like, hey, what do you think? And, you know, even when you direct things or you are just a videographer, double check it with someone, like, hey, what do you actually think of it? Double check with everyone who's there. Like, is it good? Is it bad? Like, should we go with it or can we improve something? And I actually like the initiative that SHINEE themselves or the members are actually going into it and analyzing these things together. Very nice. It's nice to see when, you know, the cast members, I would call it cast members, have a say. But in this case, it's SHINEE, it's dedicated to them, but it's nice that they still have a say, and but also that they have a massive interest actually in it.
California? PL이 뭐지? 플리스. 아 진짜? 아니.
플래시. 폴리스지? 아니.
PL이 뭐야? 퍼스널 로열 팀 이런 거. 아 폴킴이다 폴킴. 에이 폴로. 오 빠진 거야 저게. 폴로.
In station, if you take anyone's one.
이번 추후 협의 후에 제가 알려드리도록 하겠습니다.
Is that something they just found on set, or what is this? Can someone put it in the chat? I would love to know if this was something Taman actually got, like it's an invitation letter or something, or are they shooting somewhere where this was actually just found? What kind of hat is he even wearing? Is it like a what do you call it, one of those pilot hats, and then he just put a fedora on top of it. Like, I like the style. I like the style that they're all going with, like a little bit broken down, and it fits very well with the aesthetic of the building. I think it's very interesting. I still think it's great as well that they have so much time to play on set, while everything else is, you know, being prepared for the next scenes.
근데 너무 저거
연기자는 관람하러 가는 거.
아니 뮤지컬 몬테크리스토
Oh, it's a ticket.
마감하겠습니다. 빨리 입장해 주세요. 뮤지컬 몬테크리스토 17시 공연 마감하겠습니다.
He just looks so tired in all honesty, and he's like trying to be funny, and he is being funny at the same. But in his head, he's like, what am I even doing?
확정 음료 반입 안 됩니다.
Like, these sets are really tiring. Are they doing it again? Done. 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 Nice. Very nice though. I love the set itself. It's just so beautiful to look at. And I can imagine that most of it is actually shot in most likely this building.
12,000원짜리
Yeah, so it is a Wi-Fi transmitter. Wi-Fi HDMI transmitter. So so you can see what's happening on screen. Nice. And also, normally I've seen this only once so far in the production, that you basically have a big TV, and that is where the director sits. He's checking if the framing is all good and if everything looks fine. And this is most likely that they also have a chance to see what the director is watching. So you have two people looking over the material at the same time. That's what only something I'm presuming, but that's actually being effective. You know, that two groups are having a look to see if anything is fine, or, you know, something can be improved for the next shot. Actually, they included his earring, so I'm not really sure if that was the reason why they redid the shots, but maybe they had to redo it because the scene in the video itself was cut, like there was a purpose behind it. So they maybe just did it multiple times just to make sure that everyone, or they took the best moment from all of their members to see how good the video is actually, or taking the best moments of every SHINEE member and then cutting it together for the best, and lastly the best members. It's okay. 4 takes for 4 members. We choose the best of each section that we shot. Why not?
나 여기 있다.
동전이 없네.
돈이 없네.
야 잔돈.
에이, 잔돈.
어떡하지? 빌릴까? 1호 3천 아직 되나?
It's so impressive though. Like, for anyone who's interested, if you look at this setup, all this is a very tiny little monitor. This huge thing in the back is a massive battery, and this battery is most likely more expensive than this monitor. I mean, these batteries are super expensive, but this will most likely allow you to run for the entire day. Like, this will power everything here for a long time.
1634. 1541이랑 헷갈려. 전 손가락이 길어요. 짧아요.
Very nice contrast though. I like that idea with having one hand with a glove, one without a glove. It just gives a little bit of a skin and makes it a little bit more interesting. I mean, can you just imagine if both of this had a black glove on? It wouldn't be as interesting to look at.
엄마.
야.
위치 잡고 계시면 될 것 같아요.
Also to the person, let's go back there actually. I don't know who it was, to be honest, but someone in the last chat actually mentioned why all the all the not even the extras, the film crew and the production crew are blurred out in the background. Thank you for pointing that out. It actually makes sense that they blur out these people so they cannot be tracked in the future. Because if these people can be followed, it shows more or less where locations can be. You know, super crazy fans might follow them to find out where the next shoot is. I can totally understand it. It's actually a very good idea. It's also for their own safety, actually. There are some really crazy people out there. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard about stories, but there have been incidences where people follow the weirdest hints of their celebrities, and it's just creepy to some point. So I understand it. I totally do. I really love how they shot everything in this big building. Very nice. Very effective. Really, really like it, to be honest. Also, for anyone who's interested, do you see this big white element here? It's nothing more than a reflector, you know, for a reflector. It's a reflector, aka also a bounce guard for light to bounce off it, so it can go very softly onto the bounce guard and onto the SHINEE members. It just diffuses the light even so much better than just a diffuser. Very nice, but look how big it is. Okay, now we had a chance to actually see the equipment. Sorry, I didn't even pay attention to it. I was looking more at this choreography, which is super cool. And also how Minho just walked into the shot. Super nice. Look at the equipment for a second. No. It's hard to see exactly what it is. I mean, I see the camera lens. I think it's just a DSLR. Could be any cinema DSLR. With a cinema lens, like this lens is going to be most likely more expensive than the camera setup itself. I just cannot see what equipment it is, but it looks like a small DSLR in the background, a monitor. Again, I cannot say if this is a Ronin or not because I can only see one element going down. Most likely this is. Super cool light setup. I love these kind of setups. I think we've come into an age where gimbals, cameras, everything is becoming more and more affordable. And I do need to get myself one of these rings because I always think if you have a gimbal, it's always more stable if you have two hands on the setup rather than just one or just two hands like this. This causes more balance. It's like driving a car. Two hands is always more stable. What? Is he still reading his book? I have a feeling he literally just took a book with for him to read. Nice. Nice. What I really like about their shots though, and what makes this a very simple video to shoot in this perspective is that a lot of these shots are shot in this location. So basically they can put everything on one SSD and then just, you know, jump from one shot to the next shot, to the next shot, to the next shot. I think this is really cool, very easy to follow up in editing, a very simple flow, because there's also a lot of videos that like to jump from scene to scene to scene, location to location to location. It's so confusing, and then you have a million files that you need to sort before even editing, and this is a more simple way of, well, editing. Easier to follow, let's say. He looks very much like a anime character, doesn't he? I mean, a little bit of a cowboy style, a little bit of red hair. I like it. Stand by, go. Okay. That's a very loud voice, by the way, for someone just to go, okay, cut. Again, this one shot. It's a completely different shot as well. It might be that he just wasn't showing enough energy. He looked a little bit more aggressive because here I think he threw the book on the floor. Very nice little detail that someone picked up to say, can you be a little bit more oomph in the video? Nice. Is he breaking his... No, he's just relaxing. You know what I don't understand in a lot of MVs, and here you can see it very clearly. Okay, let's go back a little bit so I can explain it to you and then watch this apart. How come, and this is a true question, and maybe you guys can put it in the chat, you know, how come when you see these MVs made, you can see them singing to the songs, but how come when it comes to the editing, there is such a misalignment between what is being said in the song and what's being said by the voice? So, you know, the voiceover, let's say, it doesn't match at all. It's either too late or it's too early, and it just doesn't look very clean. So I always wonder, what is the issue here? Can someone explain this to me? I just think this is always a very hard thing to edit, because you really have to make sure that what is recorded on video, you know, for example, here at the moment, also has to make sure that it fits with the mastered song, so the final output of the song. I get that. But why is it never matching? Or in a lot of videos, it's not matching. I always think it's something that destroys music videos, because it's such an important point. You know, it's a music video and not just a movie. I think it's a lot of a missed opportunity in a lot of videos, but even the bigger groups to have it, you know, BTS, Blackpink, they all have these issues. I'm happy with Don't Call Me, they really did not have this issue, but I'm curious why it's not picked up more professionally by other, well, groups or producers. It's something I just don't fully get, and maybe I just don't see the point. But have a look here. You can see Taemin literally saying the words that are told in the song. You see, it's really on spot. Just focus on it. It looks really good. That's nice. Look how beautiful this camera work is. Give this man a promotion. It's so beautiful. I think cameramen are sometimes the hardest jobs. And can we go back to her again? Sorry. I know this video, I never said if it's going to be 10 minutes or 20 minutes, but where is this one moment? One sec. These people normally have very strong arms. I mean, this is a really heavy setup, and B, it's also something you just need a lot of energy. Every time after a shoot and I had to carry some setup like this, I had the next day pain in my biceps. It hurts a lot because you're just carrying kilos of equipment for long periods of time. And what can you do? You know, nothing. This is your job. It's basically a little bit of a workout, and at the same time, it's also filming a moment. I think this is a photo shoot, no? Very nice though. Yeah, this is a photo shoot. Again, I love how it's all in the same location. I love how they chose a location. I love how they chose a location that's so diverse and they can use it in multiple ways, multiple times. Beautiful. Saves time, makes everyone just happy. They did most of the shoot in here, which is great. Oh yeah, here, different outfit finally. But again, the same location. Also, can I just say, this is one of my favorite blues actually. I love this baby blue matte color. Fantastic color. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. I really wish we could actually hear what's happening here. I think it would be very interesting to see what they're saying. Again, I just love to really deep dive into it, but it could be that they just couldn't record it, or they were not allowed to record it. Maybe they had like an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement, where they were not allowed to film these kind of elements with sound. I don't know what the background story is, but it would be nice to see them singing here actually. Whoa, talking about that, let's have a look at equipment. Oh, look at that beautiful crane. Guys, I love equipment. I mean, let's just have a look at it. Where does it come? There we go. There we can see it perfectly. I just love how complex this setup is. Well, it's not that complex, but it's a beautiful setup. We have a motor here, a tilting motor here, and it can turn in all different directions. And one person is just controlling the arm of the crane, while the other person is controlling where the camera is looking at. Isn't this beautiful? I mean, for me, this is more interesting than cars in most cases, but this is just fantastic to look at. That's some creepy shot though. Look how beautiful this setup is though. Very nice. Again, that everything fit in this location. It's really nice. Do. I'm gonna get so demonetized in this video. I can already hear it with the music, but I just don't want to pause it. I'm actually enjoying this. This might look very silly. I've seen this one more time. This wasn't on set or anything, but someone told me that when they are in a really warm country or they're doing sport or something, they do this because they just don't want the sweat to pour down on the makeup before a photo shoot. I think it's a great method, actually. You know, just put a towel there. Very simple. Don't let the sweat go down. Keeps you all perfect. And also it gives a less headache to the women that have to keep makeup in you. I mean, they already have the fan here. Everything is here. And also they're wearing really warm clothes. Then again, I think it's cold here as well. But then again, I don't know, because Taven is now wearing a t-shirt and sometimes they're wearing like jumpers, thick jackets. Look how they're trying to cool him down though. Did they shoot this during a Christmas time? I don't remember what the release time. When was this? I think they would have shot this around Christmas because it came out in March, if not mistaken. Late April? Look at all the equipment they have here just to cool them down, you know? Look at the amount of equipment they have just to cool them down. I think it's so important, but it's good. What does it say there for the people of yesterday, today, and tomorrow? Ah, nice t-shirt, nice concept.
눈을 깜빡이면 바로 맞춰지는 거야. 눈썹부터. 잠깐만. 여기 다시 리셋해야 돼.
Guys, tell me something about Key. He doesn't sense, or he doesn't seem to smile that much. Is that just his personality? It seems like he's really just, you know, he has these funny moments, but he just comes over very sarcastic, but in a funny way though. So maybe it's just his character. So what happened? Let me see it. Let me see it. Let me see it. What is this? I'm happy for them now. I'm happy they're having such a good time though on set. Always nice. I'm still really curious if they actually filmed this in a broken down location or not. But I think this is all custom made. But can't really say at the moment. It just looks so perfect. They put a lot of money into it if they designed it, but I can't say. It looks so real that I'm like, can it be made? That's a very nice photo though. Noir. I like noir photos. Very nice. It's a funny thing what he says though. It needs to be a little artificial. I don't know if he's referring to this, but in Korea everything has to look a bit artificial for some reason. I've worked for a few Korean companies, and if you look at the Korean market and if you look at the European market, the Europeans always say that in Asia, everything has to look like overly fake for some reason. Everything has to look overly crazy for it to sell for some reason. I get it, you know, because it makes it beautifies the product, whatever it is, you know, whether it is a music group or whether it is a pencil, you know, it doesn't really matter. The purpose is that it has to have a function of making it look as if it can even be better than what the reality of the product is. I like it. And I don't know if he's trying to be sarcastic there about this. You know, it has to look more artificial, but it's interesting how different the worlds are, you know, between Asia, you know, Korea, Japan, somehow also China, some other countries as well in Asia. in Europe. It's a very contrasting world. Just a little bit of homework. Try to go to one of your favorite brands. Okay, just, I don't know what type, maybe clothing. You know, I'm not sure if I'm 100% correct, but just have a look at the European website and then have a look at the Asian website. They're normally very contrasting. For example, Louis Vuitton, I don't know if it's still the same, I didn't check it, but in the European website was 2 years ago very chilled down, while I went also to a Japanese website and it was very colorful. Very different market actually. It looks so beautiful where they are though. I love the set. The set design is actually one of the most greatest sets that I've seen in a long time. And going back to the video makes it so much better because you can actually see how powerful it is, you know, how much they were able to do in this one location. It's fantastic. I sometimes think that some locations are, or in some videos, you have too many locations bouncing too much back and forth and you don't really know what is where, and this is nice. It's very easy to understand. Nothing too confusing. And it's also very important, you know, when it comes to choosing your set. Where do you want to do it? How do you want to do it? And. I'm really curious though that... Ooh, what was that? Is he holding a gimbal? One sec, guys. I think he's just hand-holding this camera. Show me. Nice. That's handheld. You don't really see that much of it these days. Like, I barely see it. I think everything these days is always on gimbals, always on stabilized systems. This is nice. I really try to commend more people doing this. I think handheld shots sometimes add a bit of shake. They add a bit of humanity to it, a little bit of, you know, realism to the shot, because super stable shots look very cinematic, but sometimes a little bit of a moving, you know, human shake to it. It's totally fine. I think this is great. This looks great. I'm just really curious. Do you guys already know what next video we're going to be looking at, or not yet? I'm curious. Whoa, look at this diffuser though, like the size of it. I mean, I get it. The light itself is very strong. It needs a big diffuser. This is fantastic though. This looks super cool. But looking at no, I really think they built this set. Damn, this is a set. Damn, that's impressive though. You can see they put a lot of money in this one set and they're making the most out of it by shooting most of it in this one set. Beautiful. Beautiful.
개인컷 처음 찍어요. 근데 CG도 많이 쓴다 그러고 여기 이따 기차 들어가는 것도 이제 CG로 들어가고 그럴 것 같은데 저도 궁금해요. 어떻게 나올지.
Oh, this is a new set of course again?
무엇보다 베레모
Again, look at the big diffusers in the background. You can...
제가 재밌는 거 하나 알려드릴게요.
I'll be honest, in most MVs that we so far saw, you know, with behind the shots, I didn't see as many big diffusers or reflectors or bounce cards like this. This is interesting to see how many they used here. But they did a fantastic job in lighting in this video. I thought already the colors look great, everything looks beautiful in that sense.
슈퍼MT였어요. 우리 피팅 보면서 알았어. 뭐야? 이러면서. 그지? 우연.
Is he really wearing a SuperM t-shirt? What's the coincidence that the next video that we're going to be looking at is from SuperM? Oh, wow. So, what he just said is that they rebuilt this entire set for this next scene. So, that is super cool. It's also a very big shame though, because most of the things that they made specially for this one shot, they're just going to be throwing away. I've been on too many productions, you know, whether it is a music video or just an event. After the production or event, they throw this all away into the bin. They don't even reuse elements anymore. It's such a shame. Of course, they try to do some research to see when else can we use these kind of elements, but most of it just sadly gets thrown away. You know, it gets paid for, it's a one-time use, and it goes into the bin. I think it's a real shame. Sometimes I always try to get something out of it because I'm thinking, why throw it away if it can be functional in someone else's house? You know, just my 2 cents in it. In most cases, they will say no, because they're like, sorry, this is a one-time thing and we cannot give it away for whatever reason. You know, it's not a certified product and it could be as unsafe and it could damage you. These things are normally made really, really well. But these production companies that produce all these, scenes and locations, you know, they really have it tough. They work day and night to complete these things. They're on standby for the craziest things. Let me actually say really quick before we continue, really simple example how tough these production companies are. And if you don't know what a production company is, the production company is basically the companies that do the build-up of the stages, of the lighting, all these crazy things. And you want to know how crazy these companies work? A very good example is I was once at an event. I was talking to a guy who was in charge of a massive festival, like a festival for around 100,000 people. You know, he would build up all the stages and. And I just had the question, like, how long does it take to build up? And he says, well, the build-up is not the problem. The build-up will take a week. Just think about it, a week, day and night of work, so it has to continue. But then he says the tough job is the day after, because normally they just rent these places, you know, whether it is on, for example, I don't know where they're shooting now, in a hall, you know, they rent the places for a certain time, so they only have a limited time to build it down. And he says sometimes for the time they took a week to build up, they only have a day to build everything down again. That's crazy. That is really, really crazy. That's how hard they actually have it. I love the lighting here. Even for B-roll, so the video that we see here, you know, not the real video, but the extra videos, super, super beautiful.
뭔가 답답해 보인다고 해갖고 이렇게 팔도 좀 드러내보고 이런 착장으로 했는데 저는 굉장히 마음에 드는데 뭔가 안무 이번에 너무 힘들어가지고 제가 거의 한 3년 정도 만에 춤을 추나 봐요. 따라가기가 좀 쉽지 않지만 열심히 해서 재밌게 멤버들이랑 잘 맞춰서 여러분께 멋진 모습 보여드리려고 노력 중입니다.
Good. I totally agree.
현란하게.
Always try to improve yourself. Always try to be the better version of yourself the next day. It always helps, you know. Doesn't matter how tough it is. If you don't test yourself, you just don't even know what your potential actually are. You should always just say, I'm going to try it. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least you tried it and you find a different route to proceed. A little bit of a motivational speech there. Good for him, though. Good for him. How's everyone doing anyway in the chat? Everyone fine? I know this is going to be a long video. I apologize in advance, but it should be fine. Nice. Oh, this is with the dancers. For the people who are interested, when I did this video, I thought they had a big issue with this entire scene. And if you don't know what's happening here yet, it's basically the issue that I thought the shots were not wide enough. But now I actually see why. It's because the location itself is not that big. I thought this was in an open location, a little bit more of a bigger space. But it seems like the walls are actually very close on set. So I understand the issues they're having now by watching this. Like, you can just see the walls, how close they are to the pillars. And I can understand why they couldn't fit in everything, or else they show too much of the, you know, the side parts of all the stages. Very nice movements though. The choreography is still spot on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Very beautiful. Just look how tough this is to pull off one time every time, you know? Like these, you know, these choreographers in the background, they have such a tough time. I understand that. Where did I learn this? Someone again told me, I forgot who it was, you know, whether it was someone in a Korean in the industry himself, but he said, you know, if they make a mistake or two, you know, they can easily get rejected on spot. You know, they'll just replace these people on spot. They just want the best of the best for each video. It's a really tough world, you know, the K-pop world. It's, to one point, it's actually very toxic to my standards, but for the quality they're producing, I totally understand it. It's a race for the best of the best, you know? And they want the best of the best. They pump so much money into all these groups. You can see it by the production value. I mean, call one American production video, for example, that has this background in it. Just call one. It's quite tough. Oh, there we go again. I want to see the frame. So we have an ISO of 800. I don't understand this though. 45 degree. Is it the angle of the lens? It really could be, but they're shooting at 8K. That's nice. SSD again. It's 89% full. Empty, sorry. 24 frames per second. That's the cinematic standard. I'm curious what it says there. I think that's f-stop, but I can't see it. You can see how warm the camera is, if not mistaken. 39 degrees. Oh, that's not f-stop, but it seems like how long they were filming. Nice. They must be tired now. I think they had a very nice dinner after this. just... I liked it though. Nice, nice, nice. What is the fourth member name again? I forgot what his name is. I can't think of it for some reason. Taemin, Ki, Minho, and... Tell me.
이렇게 하면 샤이니 이게 우리 이거잖아. 이렇게잖아. 언제 이거였어? 이렇게 W만 만든. 난 맨날 이렇게 했어. 진짜로? 너만 그렇게 한 거 같은데? 아니야, 운영 뭐 나 이렇게 했어.
You can really see, for some reason, Ki is always the one that laughs the least. But it's his person. Oh, okay, we got a smile there. I take back everything I said. But his smile is still not as much as these three together. He looks the most serious from all four members. A little bit of an interesting fact though. Guys, for anyone who knows, and if you follow my Patreon, you would know, when you look at my clothes that I try to sell, so Fuku, so you can see the brand like right here. Like I'm working on my own brand, my own clothes. It's a little bit of a unique style, but what it's based on is actually this Asian style of dressing. I believe that clothing should be comfortable. I've been wearing very uptight clothes for such a long time, you know, whether it was university where I was forced to actually, you know, wear something. I never enjoyed it. I really just hated it actually. And after a while I was like, damn, I cannot get the clothes I want in Germany. I cannot get the clothes I want in Europe. So I decided to do my own company, Fuku, and I want oversized clothes. And as you can see it here, it's just something they do a lot in Asia. Oversized clothes is just so comfortable. Even this, it's what, 1 or 2 sizes bigger than me? I don't really remember, but it's so much more comfortable. So if you haven't yet, come check out Patreon. I tend to basically show what I have on sale there directly. So no problem, guys. Just come join me there. And I think this is the end, actually, you know, of the video. I mean, before I go into the next video, let me just get a little bit back into it. What I really like about this video the most is, and I said this in my main video as well, it's just so good to see how they utilize this one room. It's just mind-blowing because too many K-pop videos tend to go bang, 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 bang with different locations. I think that's fine. You know, Taemin does it as well, for example. But I think it's sometimes so nice how they use one location and they try to stick with it. You know, they try to tell a very good story with it. And I think it's very important that you do it because it allows you to basically have a good time and be effective with everything you have. I think sometimes there are locations built and they're only used for very silly shots. I'm trying to think of, it was a Blackpink video, I don't remember what, but they had, for example, this amazing scene, this amazing location, and there were only 2 shots used. 2. Can you imagine? 2 shots. Everything built up just for 2 shots. That's crazy, and that's also a waste of money. Again, it's not my money, but I like to be efficient with my budget if I have one. I think it's very important that you do the good stuff, you know, with the money that you're given and not just go, oh, I have a little bit more money, let's use this very expensive location for 2 shots. Crazy. The world is really crazy. Whew. Okay, a little bit of a breather. We're going to continue in the next video. For the people who have not guessed it yet, the next video that we're going to be looking at is actually SuperM. Can you guess it? I'm going to give you guys 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Can you guess it yet from the hair? For the people who don't know, I also want to look at SuperM with Tiger Inside. I thought the MV was amazing, especially with this ice location, this ice set. It just looked fantastic, and I want to see how they did that. And again, it used to be you can see already from the video I reviewed, it was a SuperM location. I'm super just stoked to see what they did here actually.
첫 번째 날을 지금 보고 계신데요. 일단 저희가 군무를 지금 찍을 거예요.
Guys, can I just stop here for a second? Don't you think his face is just perfect the way it is without face softening? Doesn't it just look good already? Why does it need face softening in so many videos? It's mind-blowing to me sometimes, you know? I think this is so much nicer to look at. Yeah, it's makeup, but it's fine.
군무, are you ready? Yes. 준비하고 뭐? 준비하고. 네, 일단 열심히 군무 촬영할 테니까 멋있는 안무
I really need to get my my teeth bleached as well.
봐주세요.
I really love the beat here. It's so cool. Very nice. Isn't it the beat one of the best things of this song? Like literally, I think it's fantastic. It's really just, you know, it's very dark, it's very mysterious, but at the same time, it's a little bit sexy. It has this very nice flow to it. I would love to edit a video with this kind of beat. For a second, I thought this was Minho, but I know it isn't. Look at the makeup, though, they're going to put on them. These rooms must be so warm, though, with all these LEDs, all these lights. I mean, that's a lot of energy, that's a lot of power. Must be like an oven. I mean, you can even see the fans, you know, that they're using. Please watch and support. I will, man. Don't worry. I already supported you. I made a video about you. Don't worry. I got you. I got you. I should have bought one of these ventilators when I was in Korea. They were quite cheap. I think they only cost like $7. Really, really cheap. Compared to the European market, they're really cheap there. Woo! It's so weird going from SHINEE to here. It's as if we're just continuing a Taemin legacy. Must be so warm. I just love the lighting, what they did here. Really good. I think these are just photos taken, don't know? Yeah. Isn't that Gucci? That's Gucci. Nice. Versace jeans. Wow. Okay, we finally have some equipment on set. This is the stuff I'm waiting for, you know? Oh, look how nice this is. We've seen it already. I mean, what is this? I think it's a... I can't really say what camera it is. Can't really see. But it's beautiful. And I also love how there's lasers being pointed at him. Really cool. Very nice. Actually, I didn't even see this in the video, but look, this is actually being softened, or they put a cloth on the motorbike, so this is fully custom, you know, for the bike. Impressive. I wouldn't have noticed this at all in the video. Like, that's some of the things that you go miss, you know, when things go a little bit too quick. I love the colors, just they look great. Yeah, well, so show me the scenes. I want to see them as well. Another bounce card here in the background. They're very important though. They really help with making the light a little bit more natural looking in the videos. Does he look like a tiger though? Put that in the chat. I personally think that they do have this aesthetic of wildness. You know, the hair a little bit of the eyes, you know, tiger eyes. Yeah. Yeah. They did a fantastic job on the hair here though. I like how everyone has the same type of hair. What is this? That's something I was actually waiting for here, you know, that it's so hard to look in people's eyes non-stop. It's like one of the hardest things to do. I've had this again sometimes on scenes where people have to not be close to each other, but even me having contact with the people that I'm filming, for some reason on a serious moment they always start laughing. They always go jump a little bit. Always interesting. I actually like how they're discussing these things amongst each other. I think this is great. They understood what has to happen. They understand the attitude that has to come on set and on video, of course, you know, for the end result. I like that. I always think this is great because it also shows that they want to have their say in the video, and they also want to show their importance. They want to show that they are part of the, you know, they want to show their interest, which is, I think, is so important. And now they kiss. Sorry. It's so weird. Like, if you watch it without sound, I can imagine this being a bit weird. You can see that literally this guy acting foolish. You can see who are the people who take this much more serious. You know, you got Taman like trying to smirk. This guy's trying to not smile at all, you know, but he's like, it's nice. That's a lot of Gucci they're wearing though. Gucci and Versace. But I like it. Very nice clothes. Oh, it's so beautiful. How great. How good these scenes are. So, if I understand it right, the tiger inside is to display, you know, the inner power of people. I really wouldn't have understood that from the MV, to be honest, because I didn't have the subtitles on, but I like how they actually explain it a little bit. It's about, you know, everyone has more potential inside of them than they actually think. Nice. Nice, 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 nice. Very good. Very nice. Ah, this is the scene. Whoever built this entire setup, you know, for this set, it looks beautiful. I love snowy worlds generally, you know, whether it is in games, whether it is in movies. Here they did a fantastic job. You can see they're still setting up everything in the background. Even here, for example, look how great his pink hair looks like, you know, with the blacks. Very nice contrasting colors and popping colors. You know, the pink is very popping, the black and white is very contrasting. Very nice. Very, very, very nice. Good job on clothes design here. Especially for cameras, this looks great. Very many details. That's another thing that I noticed, though, in a lot of K-pop videos, is that they tend to film a lot of details. They like the people to wear a lot of elements that, you know, sparkle, that have a lot of details, a lot of edges, a lot of lines. For some reason, they like that. Correct me if I'm wrong, but do you agree with me? Is this something they really enjoy showing on MVs? I think it is very nice because it's always contrasting, and it makes everything a little bit more special on camera. One sec. Again, I said this already in the last time we reviewed a video. I love these sparklers. I think they're great. These machines, they create sparks falling down. Super, super, super cool. You don't you used to not have them, but like I said, in 2018 they really became like the thing because they have this very nice effect. They look really cool, and at the end they don't even do damage. These machines are great. They're fireproof. They don't create any fires, at least the ones that I know, that I have worked with. You can put your hand on top of it or underneath it, nothing happens, but it looks super cool. I love the fire in the background. Again, real elements. Again, this also is something I pointed out. The real snow looks super good. Real elements always look 1,000 times better. At least I think so. You might think I'm wrong, but
네, 오늘 둘째 날인데 여기 어제랑 다르게 좀 더 심각한 느낌. 되게 감옥도 있고 뭐 통굴도 있고요. 그다음에 아까 제가 아침에 마크 하는 거 봤는데 너무
really nice. Really nice. Yeah, very nice idea actually. How they have like a cage and then they darkened off the cave in the background. Really nice.
그 느낌은 좀 다른 것 같아요.
Looks a bit like an elf. But again, these very nice contrasting colors. I'm just going to point this out again. We already said this as well in SHINEE. If you have a chance to be on set, always make sure to look at, you know, what's happening actually when you're filming. Let the people you're filming see their own videos, because they can only be the ones to say, can I do this better? Can I do this so much better? Just point it out, you know? Aren't these photo shoots? I don't know why, but I cannot explain it to you guys. Maybe you guys can to me. I'm not really sure. But why do photos always look so cool when they have sand in their hands? Like, I don't really get it, but at the same time, I think it's really fun. This video doesn't really show too much though about equipment for some reason. It's really focused on SuperM. Whoa, let's go a little bit, analyze a little bit of the background. You can just see how big the entire, you know, the facade, the element that goes around the set, you know, to whiten it down. Just look how big it is. Is that a green screen in the background though? I cannot really see what this is. It looks like a green screen, but I love the setup. Like, the setup itself looks so beautiful. And like I say, after this, they tore it down, did whatever they want with it, and that's really it. It's a real shame, but that's what it is. Do set. Do set. Ah, the pink is fantastic. Whoever chose this did a good job. Real good job. The real elements. Whoa, beautiful. I'm so happy that they used real fake snow instead of trying to CGI it. 1,000 times better. Beautiful. Oh yeah, go cameraman. Show what you're made out of. Ah, look how hard these cameramen actually have it. And everyone behind the set, you know, deserves a hat off.
오늘 여기 이제 촬영 컨셉은 뭔가 이렇게 히말라야, 설원, 바람이 부는 에베레스트 산 정상 그런 느낌. 그래서 아마도 이제 히말라야에 있는.
Sometimes I really have a question though, like, are they actually saying what they want to say, or are they being told to say something? Because it looks like he's looking at like a card for some reason. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I've seen both of these happening. Like, I'm currently working on productions that sometimes you see people just being told to say something because it looks better for camera. A bit of a shame, but when someone always looks away from the camera and in a specific direction. Always makes me a little bit cautious or suspicious. The set still looks so beautiful. Everything looks great. I love how white it is.
새로운 앨범 또 들어주신 우리 슈퍼맨 팬분들 또 위해서 열심히
One sec. What was that? Was that a... One sec. Did you just... One sec, guys. One second. You have this guy... Oh, he's holding a light. I get it now. Just look how cool that is, though. Like, so many lights have been used in this production, but it looks good as well. Looks really, really well. I think this is still a photo shoot. I'll be honest though, I don't like the background too much, but it just looks really bad compared to the set. They should have just used the set they built. Oh, this set is just so beautiful. That's SM Town. I think this is SM Town as well. Yeah, like the video is from SuperM. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think it's also from SM Town. Wow, their sets are so beautiful, so good, so amazing. That's it. Cut. 감사합니다. Let's actually analyze that again. Again, when we have the chance to look at some equipment, again, we see the crane, the usual. I think this is an RE. We've seen it many times. It tends always to be the same crane, actually, if you look at it, it's the same, more or less the same setup, but why not? You know, you cannot do better than better. What is he holding here? I think he's holding, again, that light tube. I really, really need to get one. I really must. It looks so beautiful, this entire setup. Looks great. I love this set. Is he referring to this set and these outfits, or was there something else? There it is again. Look at this light. I really need to get one of these things. They're just fantastic. I love how it is just integrated with a battery inside so he can move around with it. Lighting is just so important. I mean, even me, you know, I have two spotlights now, one here and one there. Look at me, you know, I am lit up quite well because I think that's very important. I think when you do filming, you should have some sort of good lighting at least. Of course, it's a little bit overboard for YouTube, but when you have it, why not? This video is gonna get so demonetized, guys, so sorry in advance. Can't really do anything about it, but I still hope you guys actually enjoy the video. Whoa, can we go back there again? It's a shame they didn't show more of these kind of things. I really love these guys. Look at the cameraman here, okay? Rushing in, rushing out, rushing in, rushing out. Really, really cool. Really, really cool. And that is it. We've now reviewed two videos, starting with SHINEE and Don't Call Me, and we've finalized this premiere with Tiger Inside by SuperM. I must say, I really, really, really enjoy these videos. I think they're very important. I think they show a lot concerning how these videos are made, what efforts they put in, you know, both from the producer side and of course the artist side. I think these things are very important to show, and I really hope, and I maybe in the future, I don't know if this is possible, you know, you can only do is ask and try out, but I really hope that I'll be maybe in the future, and all the projects I do, that I at least somehow get backups on what has actually happened. I think it's just very important that when you make these YouTube videos, when you make generally a video, it's nice to show how it's created, what is the background behind it, what happened in the background, what happened in the foreground, all these different elements. And I think these videos are so great because you can learn from them. They're, for me, a learning platform. Of course, they don't really show you a lot, and if you're just starting off with filmmaking, it doesn't really help too much, because if you don't know what is, how something functions, it doesn't really answer too many questions. But here, for example, you can see how great it is, how many handheld shots are there, crane shots, shots without gimbal, shots all, you know, physical, great looking shots. And I think this is just beautiful to learn from, and I really think they're helpful for me at least. And I think if you guys, at least I can hope so, you know, that me looking at these videos, explaining some of the elements that are happening. Of course, if you have questions, put them in the chat, because then I can answer them. But I think they are great videos to learn from. I think they're really fun videos to learn from, and I can only recommend them to anyone. Not only to see, you know, how the artists are, and of course it's somehow fan service, but also to actually have a look to see how the producers and the production works in the background. We should compliment them as well, because they have it as tough as everyone else, you know. It's not only what happens in the foreground of the camera, aka what you see, it's also what happens in the background. You can see how many people are there. It's not always just 1, 2, 3 people. It can be a team of 20, 30, 50 people running around trying to fix things. It's a very big production, and I must say, it's always fun to look at these videos. But that was it, guys. I hope you really enjoyed the video. It has been a long one. I think this is more than an hour long. If you have sat through this for the entire hour, thank you very much for watching, of course. And if you haven't yet, please make sure to check out the Patreon. Actually, it will support the channel. As you can see, by reviewing these videos, I can really not get monetized at all. It's a no-go, and I always get demonetized. So if you do want to support the channel, please check out my Patreon. And not only do you support the channel, but also, of course, charities. And you get some other benefits as well, which I always look forward to giving. And you also have a priority on what to review next. So for now, guys, thank you very much for watching. And if you did enjoy, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And I really hope to see you on the next video. And I hope that I can start live streaming soon. Maybe during the week I can get everything fixed. But I'll keep you guys updated. And of course, people on Patreon, you guys get updated first. It's a great platform, by the way, to quickly update the entire group, because on YouTube they tend to throw your posts a little bit everywhere. Some people see them, some people don't. So it's a little bit of a more cleaner platform. So if you haven't yet, just follow me on Patreon, then you can more or less know what's happening with the channel. So thank you very much, guys, for watching. And like I say, see you on the next video. Bye-bye, everyone, and stay safe.